Hi guys, how are you?
Hello, hello.
Hi, I will be your teaching assistant today. So before start class, you at the last class we have a small homework assignment. So today we will spend 15 minutes for three team to share about the homework, and which team want to present first. So who want first?
Can you go to the next slide, please?
Okay, here. Here's the last homework.
Actually, we didn't get announced the last time's homework. I mean, we didn't even cover the Gantt chart from the MVP class.
Yeah.
Is there anyone who would like to share how they would like to improve their UI UX for their product based on the feedback, based on what you learned from previous class?
Actually, for me, I got direct feedback from the instructor from the last UI UX class. So we actually tried to change the font color of the UI UX and did some minor fixes for the UI, but it is not really out there. But because we kind of like made our designers to work on it, so it's not really fixed at the moment. I think it's gonna come out at like two week or two later.
Okay, so minor changes, right? Regarding the front end a bit.
Uh yes, we did some minor changes in the game, yeah, UI UX as the former last instructor gave us tip about advice about it.
Okay. Is there anyone else like to share how they would like to change the UI UX a bit based on what you learned from the previous class?
Yeah, we had also talked in class just briefly about ours. So we're just more developing the desktop version because a lot of our designs are for the mobile. So just so it's like a little more, formal feeling kind of, we're going to focus on the desktop. And then we were meeting with our advisor and he had just given us advice that maybe we could reduce the text and just kind of make it look a little more simplified. So those are the two things we're kind of going on. And we're just still in design again.
But are you going to got two separate version of mobile and desktop, or you are going to be, I don't know, got the web app
Yeah,
which is
I think we will. Maybe it's like, there's some platforms where it's really like the mobile version is like a support versus like a lot of the main activities are on the desktop. Like, I still think there's value in mobile just because everyone does it. It's like more used, I would say, day to day, and it's more accessible. So that's like another thing we're still just kind of thinking through because we want to maximize accessibility, but at the same time, it's like it is for more formal applications and stuff. So anyway, that's like something we're just kind of considering based on the feedback.
So for
Yeah.
me, at the beginning, it could be great if you can utilize current drag and drop platform to make it more mobile and
Yeah,
desktop
exactly.
friendly. Not spend too much thing on try to make two step version because it's really heavy. And also for the
Yeah,
MVP, you will change a lot. So try to make it adaptive and
exactly.
reusable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. For our next one, anyone else would like to share what they learned from previous class regarding UI UX and then they want to change something regarding their current product? Okay, if not, then we go to the content. Again, for UI UX is something very important, and you need to improve it every single day, right? And obviously, you already got contact with Don. Feel free to ping him, engage with him if you would like to receive feedback from him in general, he's very friendly and open. So feel free to reach out to him. But obviously, you need to be active, right? Reach out for feedback. Send him screenshot regarding what you do, and then ask for how should you change in general. So I give it back to our uh, teaching assistant for today to introduce our new instructor and also content for the class.
Yes, and if any team have not finished the homework from the last class, I hope everyone can complete it and after today, lessons and upload it in the driver. And so next, I will hand over the class today for the teachers with the sunlight, and so you can start today's lesson.
Okay,
You will share your screen.
yeah.
Yep.
Thank you, thank you. Let me share my screen first. Can people see my screen?
Yeah. I think it's reflecting the.
Yeah, is it fine now?
Yes.
Okay. So friends, I would first like to have a brief round of introduction so that I can sense who is listening to me. Okay. So who would go first?
I could go first if anyone,
Please.
if no one is thinking. No one is going thinking of going first. Yeah. Yeah. So should I just yeah? So actually, I'm from Glen Studio, and we are the Gamify projects. And what we actually do is that we are trying to develop mid-core casual games, and then in those games, your NFT characters or items are not just usable in just one game that we develop, but they would be able to use in different games that we develop in future and partnership with. So, yeah, we're trying to basically make a blockchain gaming platform. And yeah, I think that would be the short
Do you have
explanation
any
of our
platform
project.
token of yours?
Excuse me, I wasn't able to hear.
Do you have your platform token?
Not yet because we are planning to make the token, but because of some regulation in South Korea, we are kind of like postponing it until we have overseas corporation. Yeah. So as of right now, we only have NFTs.
Okay. Okay. Who would go next?
I could go next. We're building a blockchain platform that's powered by AI agents, and essentially it's like proof of proficiency with NFTs. So this is verified soft skills from academic and professional settings, and basically these are like immutable records, to prove your soft skill proficiencies, and you can use them for like job applications and academic applications. So similarly, like we're actually like kind of brainstorming and thinking through our tokenomics and everything. So we're looking forward to today's session.
Okay. Okay. Good. Next. See, I can't pronounce the names properly, so I'm a bit afraid that if I try it out, then I might do it wrong. So anybody please go next.
Yeah, yes. Can be my team. Basically, our team is name is Rock Servers game. This is a survival sandbox game that uses the game the player is to read their own asset, something like the in-game item and in-game token. And we plan to do like the token as well, but we not sure about tokenomic yet, so we got to discuss.
Oh.
Yep, that's all.
Yeah, next.
Okay, I'm Nick. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, my project is Hoverse. The Hoverse is the try to bring the game experience to the Web3. We released the open world survival game in the web as the Web2 manner and top up the Web3 technology under the hood. Player, we aim to we aim for any gamer can fun with the game. Web3 gamer, traditional gamer, or also trader uh, enjoy in the one single economic of our game. At this time, we are not release token yet, but we release the secondary token that used with the first version of our dApp for for proof of concept and demo for someone in interest and try to play with our early state of our dApp. Okay.
Okay, who's next? Anybody else?
Hey Sam, and also Zach from GM Square and Ape Planet. Can you turn on your mic, introduce a bit about your project? I still see Pavel as well. Could be great if you can turn on your mic and introduce about yours and your project.
Tonam Pemba, if you can introduce yourself. Oh,
Yeah, same.
Nice to meet you.
Same scholarship. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm just have a mistake. Sorry. Um, hello guys, hello guys, can you see me?
yeah, we can hear you but can't see you.
Um, about my project is GM2 Social, and this is a Web3 social file wallet app and revolution to DeFi and social network is first. Track your portfolio and earn rewards, manage digital access and discover project, and this can connect with um, many assets in all in one place. And yeah, that is my about projects.
Okay. So, friends, I think now I have a fairly good idea whom I'm talking to. About myself, my name is Sunil Agrawal, and I'm in blockchain ecosystem since early 2012. So it's now 12 years past in this world. I happen to be accidentally India's first teacher of blockchain technology. I taught India's first credit program in blockchain technology in January 2016. My book, Bitcoin Magnet, happened to be India's first blockchain book. Then in 2018, I launched India's first blockchain executive program in collaboration with Triple IT Hyderabad. And I'm running that program till now. Already 10 cohorts have passed out. And in those 10 cohorts, have done 10 hackathons and have mentored nearly 100 POCs. So apart from that, I have been advisor or in multiple capacities. I have worked with nearly 8 Web3 projects. And right now, I'm building a dating network. So right now we are in the pre-alpha stage. So most probably next month we are going to release our private alpha. So dating space is a unique space. So there are not many projects. So I took 6 years to design this project, and next month we are going to release our private alpha. So this is about me. Teaching is my first love, and my training as a political philosopher has enabled me to talk something interesting about politics of money and philosophy of money. And when I saw Bitcoin for the first time, this was a wake up call. And the moment I jumped into Bitcoin, I never looked back. And at that time, Bitcoin price was just $20. And there were only three cryptocurrencies in the universe. So you can see that I've seen the journey from $1 billion market cap on coin market cap, from that to more than $2 trillion. And I've seen from three projects to more than 20,000 projects on coin market cap. So this is the kind of experience I've gone through. So I'm going to start my presentation, and I'm sharing my screen. Just a bit. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. Okay, so this is me, and now I'm going to start. Okay, friends, before we start this session, uh, I need to set the context here, because it is very widely seen in Web3 universe that people don't take theory or principles of token economics very seriously. And whenever they come into actual field, they start talking to investors, they are uh, in a listing mode, then all those theory and principles just go out of the window. But remember, theory always comes back to knock you down, because it is what it is. It is there to guide you. If you don't follow those guidance principles, then sooner or later, whenever you disobey, it is going to bite you back. So that's why this entire session is based upon an understanding that you are going to obey these few principles. First, don't follow get rich quick mindset. I know that people can become overnight millionaire in crypto ecosystem. So please, if you are in that kind of mode, just get out of it. Yes, there are possibilities that you can become extremely rich, but getting rich quick is not going to help. Okay. Second important thing is listen to the investor, but follow the user. Because the problem with most of Web3 projects is that it is populated by 90% investors and 10% users, whereas it should be reverse. 10% investors and 90% users. If this ratio is reversed, then crypto or Web3 is in the right direction. And one more important thing, sustainability is the ultimate goal of Web3 projects. Just imagine if Satoshi Nakamoto is live and you have gone back to year 2009, when for the first time Bitcoin was launched, and you had asked Satoshi Nakamoto, what is your true goal? of launching Bitcoin, would it have been price? Would it have been get rich quick? Or this one? So to me, sustainability is the ultimate goal. And when I say sustainability, I don't mean to say survive 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. I am saying survive at least 100 years. Design the projects in such a way that they can survive beyond you. So sustainability, if it is there, only then value creation would happen, because project life is directly proportional to value creation. Yes, profit is important, no doubt about that. Um, I come from a business family, so I do understand the relevance of profit. But we are in a Web3 world. We are more than profit. Sustainability matters. So before I go into the details of token economics, I must remind you that we are into a very unique kind of economics. Fiat economics is what hierarchical economics. Because don't forget that whenever central bank is setting a monetary regime, it is not just setting a monetary regime. It is also setting a interest rate regime. And interest rate regime is further setting a credit availability regime. And credit availability regime is setting which market would get credit and which market won't get credit. All those centralized market manipulation practices would keep on happening because there is a hierarchical economy. But blockchain world is not hierarchical economy, it is circular economy. So you will have to unhook yourself, unhinge yourself from this hierarchical economy to understand and appreciate whatever I'm going to say. Okay? So these hierarchical economies, they are prone to single point failure. And why they are single point failures? Because there are only very, very few people taking the ultimate decisions. For example, what happened a few months back in Sri Lanka? What is happening in Turkey? 70% inflation. What happened before the current president came to Argentina? 40-year long period of inflation. So the issue here is we need to focus on the fundamental definition of currency. It is nothing but flow and flow of value. So blockchain is a value transfer network where transaction is itself a settlement. That's a beauty. Because in fiat world, if you make a transaction, the settlement is not in your control. The settlement is in the control of either the banking body or some regulatory body. But here, you are doing the transaction and the transaction is getting deposited in block and block is confirmed after few blocks, settlement finality is achieved. So in that sense, this is a disintermediation of all third parties. And the interesting thing here is that these circular economies have a very different logic than what we are actually acting as economic beings in fiat economies. And my fundamental hypothesis is circular economies are far more efficient than hierarchical economies. Yes, it is a very radical statement, but I would stand by it because ultimately, if you go into the history of money, there was plurality of currencies available throughout the world and multiplicity of payment methods throughout the world. So, circular economies are definitely very closer to human DNA. And blockchain has basically brought back all those things. And it would have very serious implications for the business models of today. Now, coming back to the world of token economics. See, when I say pricing is something when the moment you think of price, you start thinking in these terms. Or should the price be $0.01 or $1 or $10 or $5? The fact here is this doesn't matter. A price at 0.01 can be bad of a product, and the same product can have a price of $1, and it may be a good choice. You can have million categories of prices, but ultimately price is a byproduct. And what is that byproduct of? That is sustainability. I have seen Ether at $0.4. I have seen Bitcoin at $20. Were they less important at that time? Just because its market cap was low, does it make them less important? The answer is straight no. So in that sense, prices are relevant, but only if they are a byproduct of sustainability. As your community grows, as your adoption grows, and more people can realize, oh my goodness, this is a great product, this is a great service, this is a great platform, then price will take care of its own. But it is a byproduct of sustainability. And let me take you into a real life example which comes from my own life, so that I can actually show you that why certain things are very important to be tokenized, and pricing and tokenization are ultimately going to merge together, converge together for a very long life. Okay, so me and my son go to a saloon which is called Natural Saloon once a month or sometimes twice a month. So here I'm using Indian currency. Please excuse me that. Here, haircut costs $250. But if I buy a Natural Saloon loyalty card, which is worth 500 rupees, this card is applicable for all my family members. So this, and the validity of this card is 2 years. So then I have to pay rupees 200, which is a 25%, which is 20% discount, not a bad discount. So same thing for a hair massage. So I realized that this is a good offer. So I bought that loyalty card for 500 bucks. And if I get facial done, and I get discount of 200 bucks. Now, for 2 years, me and my son went there, and together we got 50 haircuts, 10 hair massages, and 4 facials. Now, net savings which I got was 4,000 plus general goods and services tax, GST tax. I got this much savings. And this is my net saving. But while I have made net savings, I have contributed to the enterprise value. And they have charged a total of 16,000 from me. So my net savings are basically over 2 years are 26.15%. Now, you compare this ROI with a bank product, a fixed deposit product. In India, the average rate of interest on a FD or a fixed deposit is 6.5. So your net interest income over 2 years would be this much, and net ROI on a loyalty token is this much. Okay? Now, just a minute. My question here is that Natural Saloon is a B2C enterprise, And there are thousands of such B2C enterprises. If today Natural Saloon has to expand its branches, the best way for it is to go to a bank and take debt on which you have to pay both principal and interest, or you have to dilute your equity, which means that somebody else will be dictating the terms. But here comes tokenization. And in tokenization, you don't have to raise the debt, you don't have to dilute your equity, but still you can raise the capital. Just imagine if you have 100,000 such customers, then you can easily raise 50 million from those people and simultaneously contributing a value of 1.6 billion. If you go to any product, any service which is directly talking to a customer, then ultimately everybody would realize that banks don't give the right amount of return. This public friendly, a popular business has a far better return. And for a founder, for a business person, these two options, debt and dilution of equity, both are eliminated. So, what I'm trying to say here is that this is the ground on which all business logic of tokenization would be built. Whether all the regulators try to stop it, punish it, whatever, sooner than later, all business logics would drive in this particular direction and tokenization would become a default reality. We are moving from a single currency to a multi currency regime. Now, just imagine this thing at a bigger scale. Bigger scale means a planetary scale, not a national scale. In blockchain world, there is no nation because it is a world of network state. So here platform is issuing tokens. And in the case of Natural Saloon token, it was promised to pay with the service. A gaming company can say, we are promising to pay you with service. Now, in this model, you can design token in 100 or 1,000 different ways. Just in the case of Natural Saloon, it can be a discount coupon, cashback, extra rewards, or much more. What I'm trying to say here is that we are moving into a world where capital from customers is going to be far, far safer and efficient method. Right now, customers are not fully aware of that because of regulatory fears and all those things. But it will happen because people will realize that ultimately, if they are paying to a person who is providing the service, then there is no need of any intermediary in this particular game. So we are going back to our original world of uh, barter where people were exchanging things. The only problem was that at that time, double coincidence of wants was the bigger problem because if I need, let's assume, bananas and you have mangoes, I may have banana, but you may not have mangoes. So, in that sense, the double coincidence was not happening. It was rare. But in a world of blockchain, there are lots of exchanges where there are thousands of tokens, and those tokens can easily meet each other because asset services have been tokenized. So, we are moving into a world where social capital is going to become a finance capital. Okay. And why governments are afraid? Because they don't look at social capital or finance capital. They look at it from a point of view of potential challenge. They think it is a corporate currency. Yes, it's a corporate currency, but in reality, this is rise of business networks, and business networks would become network state. Okay, so my fundamental submission is that tokenization is the future, and here there are some important things which you need to take care of. How Web3 is different from Web2? The reason here is that tokens give you a very unique advantage which was not available there earlier. If you are a Web2 project, then you have a long term dependency over VCs. For example, in India, there is a project called Baiju. It's a edtech firm, and at its peak, its value was $22 billion. Just 3 years back, it was $22 billion. Today, its value is zero. It started in 2007, got its funding in 2011, major funding, and then it just touched skies. All big VCs ventured into this particular project and funded it, lots of people. And the valuation was insane. Sometimes its valuation was uh, far more, rather 500 times more than the profit. 500 times. Now, the issue here is that something went wrong, the valuation went wrong, some VC dictates went wrong, somewhere something went wrong, and value came down to zero. But till end, it was dependent on VCs. From 2011 to 2024, only VCs were determining its growth. But if you are a community driven token project, then you can survive far longer than a profit starved business. Going back to my initial statement, sustainability is far more important in Web3 than profits. So focus on sustainability. Okay. Now, the second most important thing here is that here, whatever startup you have, you are global by default. The moment you deploy your smart contract on chain, you are global. You can get customer from any part of the world, unless and until you are a very, very localized business. So in that sense, this model is a model where utility and liquidity are actually coexisting into a single unit, which means that here you may not call a token money, but it is definitely a money-like instrument. And why it is important? Because it can exist outside banking system. Let me tell you a funny thing. Recently, Russia and China used USDT for their international trade transactions. Just a minute. Russia and China, two fiat economies, used Tether, which is ERC20 token on Ethereum blockchain, and which is dollar backed for their global transactions. What does it mean? It means that since Russia has been banned from accessing the global banking system, so they have used Tether, which is outside the banking system, to make their global trade transactions. Now, the issue here is that why, despite lots of regulatory punishment, regulatory pressure, why tokens have become popular, their number has increased, their volume of transactions have increased. When I joined crypto world, there were 200 transactions a day. Today, there are 20 million transactions a day, out of which nearly 14 million transactions are happening only on Ethereum ecosystem. So what I'm trying to say here is that tokens are a model where even tomorrow, if you use AI agents and you want to make a hyper barter transaction, you can easily make it. Hyper barter means that you have four assets in four currencies. Now, for a human being to transact with four assets and four currencies will be very difficult. But in an AI system, you can do it. So, which means tomorrow, if you extrapolate from today, you will be doing multi asset, multi currency transactions in a single digital matrix. Tokens can make that happen, but fiat currencies cannot make that happen. So that's why tokenization would always be important. And in tokenization, sustainability would be the most important thing, and price would follow sustainability, not precede it. Okay. Now, to further clarify my case, I'm going to take a case study from crypto world, and that is from BAT, Basic Attention Token, or from Brave browser. Now, when I saw this project in 2017, I was literally mesmerized. I would say that this is one of my most favorite project. The way they wrote their white paper, the way they made problem statement, it was simply excellent. Simply
in
excellent.
in
I'm
Chami.
talking of 7 years back, 2017. And they said very simple thing that today everybody who is using online uh, who's on online has to do it through a browser, whether it is Chrome, whether it is Edge, whether it is Safari or Firefox. But in all those browsers, you have to see digital ads, and you can't stop those digital ads. Even if you go for ad blockers, you can stop some, but not all. And because of those digital ads, you your page gets loaded slowly. You have to pay more in data charges. Your time is wasted. All those things happen. And despite 600 million users using ad blocking software, the system, the problems of the system still exist. And at the same time, traditional publishers like business newspapers, regular newspapers, business magazines, or regular knowledge websites, they have lost publishers, lost revenue. That revenue has gone to only two players, Google and Facebook. I was, when I saw this project, I could see, my goodness, that we are going to see a rival of Google Chrome. And this was something so good that people, and my feeling was shared by lots of people, and people started buying their token because their product, Brave browser, was supposed to be a very, very great product. And there you could opt in to watch ads. And today there are 65 million Brave browser users. 65 million. It's a huge number. Okay. And here, if you opt in to watch ads, you will get 70% of ad revenue, which was a great thing. And 15% ad revenue would go to the publishers. It means that the user is browsing and he or she is getting the revenue. That was a great product. And some people in our group started saying that this token market cap would reach $100 billion. Somebody said $500 billion. Somebody said $1 trillion. All those things, blah, blah, blah. Because everybody was counting Google Chrome users and extrapolating from that figure. But nothing happened. Their white paper, their logic was very, very good because malicious advertising is a very, very big problem, and they are solving that. And the second thing is that today, if you look at the distance between a marketer and people. For example, you want to advertise something. You are, let's assume, a hyper local delivery platform, and you want to reach out to people. How would you? You need your content to be hosted somewhere, published somewhere, maybe YouTube, maybe Facebook, maybe Instagram. But the issue here is how much ad space do you want? Who will decide that? There are lots of players who are solving the problems which happen between people and marketers. And this market is massive and confusing and messy. So, what Brave Browser and Bat Project did, they said we will disintermediate it completely. And that was brilliant, just brilliant. And we started calculating that BAT token price will touch $100 very soon and all those things. And they raised $24 million in, I think, 60 seconds, if I'm not wrong. 60 seconds. And when they raised, they basically put both a soft cap of 27,000 Ether and a hard cap of 156. And this was the ratio. Now just look at this figure. 1 ETH was 6400. Today, 1 Ether is around $4,000 and 1 BAT is around 2.25. So ratio would come down to be around 16,000. And here it means BAT has lost its price from the issue price, more than 50%. Now the issue here is, if BAT was such a great project and the team was very, very solid, then this pricing, 1 ETH is equal to 6,400 BAT tokens. Is it wrong? The point here is that despite being a great project, I still love BAT. And I still believe that BAT token would be worth $100 one day, maybe $200 one day. But I can't predict when. It may be 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. So what should I look at? Should I look at price? The answer is straight no. Then what I should look at? I should look at only and only sustainability. This is the only product in a consumer grade applications in world of crypto which has crossed 60 million users. 60 million. But despite that, BAT value has not grown. In a normal extrapolation which VCs do and which sometimes founders also do to put a value to their project, they do all those things. But what is that which went wrong in case of BAT? And I can give multiple examples of similar projects. So what I'm trying to say here is, I'm not here to discourage you. I'm here to encourage you to build great projects. But I also want to caution you that please avoid irresponsible pricing. Because irresponsible pricing can be also a bad expectation and can also be a bad benchmark. Both for founders as well as investors, because pricing is relevant to both. Because founders are going to talk to their users. And if users are investors, then they are also going to talk to investors. And in case of BAT, majority were retail investors. That was the beauty. Everybody thought that token price would jump to $100. It went up to $2, and never more than that. And for last 5 years, its price is around this. For last 5 years. So that's why I'm saying that price is important, but price is a subset of sustainability. And I still believe that this product, this project is worth not 100 billion. It is worth even more than $1 trillion. But provided it survives, it grows. So which means sustainability. Okay. So this was the details of the token launch. And now the interesting thing, token allocation or token issuance. 1 billion tokens were given to investors. 300 million for early adoption, which was, you can call it some sort of a airdrop. And rest was for the founding team. This was very good, great choice. This was also very good. But this is something I do have my problems with. Okay, I will come to this in a moment. So what I'm trying to say here is that despite being a great team, a great product, they could never make sure that their pricing was right. They are still 50% below than their issue price. So here I ask you to ask a very fundamental question to your own self. And this question is important for all categories of people, particularly Web3 or crypto founders who have a platform token. Ask your heart, ask your soul, which is the game you are going to play? Token speculation or product adoption? I don't want you to answer it right now, but ask yourself. Because in my understanding, 90% of founders are playing this game. If you play this game, then sooner or later, you will get into a trap out of which you would be never able to get out. The second thing, second major choice. Who is your long-term friend? A token user or a token investor? This is critical. It is said, keep your friends closer. But it is also said, keep your enemies even closer. What does it mean? It means that you should have a very critical understanding of who is your friend and who is not your friend. And this question cannot be answered in public. This question can only be answered in private, to your own soul, when you ask this question to your own self. And that's where the third question is important. What is your token for? Is it for a community with a value system? Or this token is for those few people who are just looking at 100x price? You have to make these decisions. I know that these decisions may look philosophical decisions. No, they are highly practical decisions. But they are not answered in public, they are answered inside your hearts. And every founder, every entrepreneur who is launching a token, platform token, has to answer these questions. Because if you don't answer, then you know what is going to be your eventual reality. So here I'm going to show you some great products where founders did some mistakes And those some mistakes were visible in the token economics. Great products, no doubt about that. See, I have really felt that as far as product building is concerned, I think entrepreneurs don't need much advice. Since most of you are entrepreneurs, so I'm pretty sure that you can handle what is good UI UX, what is your market TG, what are how you can reach go design a go to market strategy, all those things. I think almost 99% you are already there. You can handle that. Some of you maybe serial entrepreneurs, so you know how to handle that. On that count, you don't need fresh education. But since you are in a Web3 world, and in a Web3 world, yes, great product builders are needed, but even great product builders can have a very bad token economics. And when I say bad token economics, they have some common features. And the common features is like they're starting when they are launched, their token is launched, it's a big bang impact. A very large head like a comet like head, and then long tail of withering smoke. So most of these projects are like comets, and which means low token price over long periods with short-lived durations. After 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you don't have any capital reserves. For example, BAT doesn't have capital reserves. Low token base for community adoption. Today, if BAT wants to launch new token for community, they can't because they don't have any token reserve. So, in a sense, I feel that 99% of token projects are like AIDS patients, low immunity and high mortality. So, if we are giving these words of caution to all the founders, then what is to be followed? What is the simplest logic? Follow user adoption, nothing else. Only and only user adoption. That is the only goal. Yes, other things are important, but not important than user adoption. If user adoption is not happening, then all other stats are a pure distraction. So let's look at the first great project, but with a very bad token economics, Graph Protocol, which is called Google of blockchain. I love this project. They have a great product. But look at the journey of Graph token. 2021 launched, peak $2, 90% down. Now, what is the reason why it is 90% down? Just look at it. This is their total supply, 10.797 billion, and this is their circulating supply, 9.48, which means 90% of token has already been released. Oh my goodness. It means if user growth is slow, then that user growth cannot handle the pressure of so many tokens in the market. The token price, there will be a mismatch between supply and demand. So the token price would definitely crash. Next, BAT, which I have already mentioned, that they are facing problems. But do you know what is the biggest reason of that? Look at this. 99% token is already under circulation. So no capital reserve, no community pool reserve. So now how to fund the new development or how to take care of the supply and demand? They don't know how to manage that because of bad token economics. I'm not saying that this is a bad product. I'm using Brave browser for last 4 years on a daily basis. I'm the most loyal user of BAT. But even a user like me cannot increase the price of BAT because too many bad tokens are in the supply, which should not have been that. Should not have been there. Again, another product, ICP, which was earlier Definity. Just look at it. Almost the same reason, 90% tokens are already in circulation. If you launch your token imagining that you will get a very good market cap and very good price from your VCs or potential retail investors, then that is a very, very bad logic. Pricing is important, but not important than sustainability. Same with push protocol, decentralized notifications. Great product. It is by a fellow Indian. I love that product. But again, 60% tokens are already in circulation in 3 years. So, what is my basic relationship lesson for pricing and token economics? What is the basic lesson? Never release full token supply in short duration. It's a suicide. Never ever. And if you have a token issuance schedule, it should be for at least 10 years, maybe 20 years, I don't mind, but at least 10 years or even more. And if you are not using time as its parameter, then it should be linked to user activity. More users, more token circulation. Less users, less token circulation. And one more important thing, it's a circular economy, Web3. And in a circular economy, who gives the true value of a project? It is not a founder. Yes, founder is a mother of the project, but it is the community which is taking care of the project by becoming the user and the followers and the market makers of that project. So a fundamental rule, more than 50% tokens, it may be 60%, 70%. If you look at Bitcoin, 100% tokens belong to community. I don't want you to be acting like a noble person like Satoshi Nakamoto. I say that you can say that 60% would be for users, 20% for other stakeholders, and 20% for founders and other staff members. But minimum of 50% tokens should be for users, not for investors. When I say users, users means who should get incentivized for using and remaining loyal to your product. That's the single logic, not investment. Whosoever is giving you time and loyalty is far more relevant to you in long run. That is the true friend. Investor is not your true friend. Yes, it might appear as a friend in short run, but not in long run. So that's why never ever look at this FDV, fully diluted value. This is a fake, completely useless tool for founders. It's just a market gimmick. Nothing more, nothing less. So if FDV doesn't matter, then what matters? The only thing matters is token circulation into current price. Even if it is 20K, 50K, 100K, that is the real value of a project. It may be very, very embarrassing to say this or accept this. If you are a founder and somebody asks you what is the true value of your project, you can say, looking at the current token circulation and token price, I think it is $80,000. Now, naturally, might make you a laughing stock, but that is a true assessment. And if you can take care of that true assessment and learn from it, then you won't commit those mistakes which these examples I have shown. Because if you are not getting users, then VCs would never stay with you. They will just have a casual hookup with you. Nothing more, nothing less. So, final thing, there are few things which you should always make sure in the world of token economics. Because token economics ensure certain kind of bandwidth, and that bandwidth give you certain options. The first thing is never launch a token before a product. In 2017, it was possible, but in 2024, it is not possible and it should not be pursued. First and foremost, focus on building the product. Yes, you may ask, what if I need $5 million, $2 million for funding and all those things? The issue here is if funding is critical, you don't have resources, then yes, a soft agreement can be done.
Alo,
Where simple agreement for future tokens, where you don't release the token
Như đang xem live stream, đang
immediately.
xem đang chốt đâu.
It should be released only after the launch of the product.
Đâu còn tin rang
And
dạ.
second thing, which is the most important thing,
Thôi đi.
release token, but not to VCs first. Release tokens to users. Users are the real thing. If you do the mistakes of BAT, Definity, Push project, all these are great projects. I still love them. But I cannot ignore that they have very bad token economics. And if you yourself just want to be a great project but not focus on token economics, then you would face the same problem which they are facing right now. These are the projects which can survive 100 years. But they have made their survival very, very difficult because of bad token economics. And don't get into fad of airdrops. Airdrops, yes, they are good, but delay them as much as possible, because right now airdrops are creating fake users. People come to your platform to get the airdrops and just vanish. So that's why airdrops are important. I'm not saying that they are not important. I'm saying they are important, but delay them as much as possible and spread them, distribute them over multiple seasons, maybe 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. Don't distribute all your airdrops in less than 6 months. No, never ever do that. Your airdrops should be spread over sometimes 3 years, 5 years, even 10 years. Don't mind doing that. Your tokens are source of your sacred strength, my dear. Sacred strength. If you overburn them, over distribute them, then this aura, you will lose it. You will lose it. And I have given you sufficient examples. I'm 100% sure that tokenization is the default future. Fiat currencies will go down in importance. But it will happen only if you build those great projects with great token economics. Pricing matters, no doubt about it, but it doesn't matter more than sustainability. And choose those VCs who are ready to become community stakeholders. If there is any VC who is ready to commit not for less than 3 to 5 years, say no to these VCs, please. It means you can get into a trap of pump and dump anytime. Anytime. And if they want to join you, ask them to become validators if you are a platform POS platform, or you are using some sort of a validator business model. And make them participate. If a VC in a Web3 world acts that as if he or she has money and nothing else, No. Money is 20%, 80% is VC remaining loyal to
Cái
you.
gì lại ngáp rồi.
VC remaining loyal to your project. If this 80% is not there, then this 20% is poison. And if you take this poison, you can't save yourself in long term.
Dạ.
So, friends, now I'm
Vâng.
about to conclude. What I'm trying to say here is
Mày trông chừa mày quá.
that pricing is
Chừa mày
a context specific
cứ
thing.
cứ để tóc bà ngoại thôi à.
And a context is designed by sustainability. And sustainability means that you are here to stay for not 2 years, for not 5 years, for not 10 years. You are here to sustain for at least the full lifetime of a founder. Yes, tomorrow things may change, but your vision should be that you are here in the market for at least 20 years, if not 100 years. So your token issue schedule should be at least distributed across 20 years so that whenever you need capital after 5 years, you have tokens to spare. You have tokens to give back to your community. So friends, I will stop here and I will invite Q&A so that whatever I have spoken, I got a bit emotional, but I think I have delivered my message. Now I'm open to Q&A. Yeah, over to all of you.
Is it okay if I ask the question? Am I? Could anyone hear me?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. So, I mean, basically, I do agree everything that you say, but I kind of also think at the same time it is too, I mean, it is too idyllic because, like, I think many projects try to get funds through token because they don't have enough runway or they don't have a way to get the money from VCs. So like the reason why they're kind of like going cheap price for the token is because in order to attract the I mean like small customers and many customer with small amount of money, the token price has to be cheap. That's why I think the projects are going really cheap. It's not because they want to go cheap. I think they only have the option to go cheap. And like also about the part where you said the token should be released after the product release, not before the product release is, I mean, it really kind of sounds ideally, especially in game project because game project requires a lot of money and like, the reason why I think they kind of released token before the project is because they ran out of runways and they kind of like want to finish the project. Like in those kind of case, like what do you think it would be the better way to kind of like do the tokenomics or like gain the sustainability?
Okay, Yungu. See, I love this question and I have been thrown this question multiple times. So this is not new to me. I will just bit funny, but I think you would like it. In crypto world, there is a term called OG, original gangsters. People who are in this world for quite a number of years. I think we need to popularize another term, which is old man of crypto, old men of crypto, or old women of crypto. You can regard me as an old man of crypto. And an old man of crypto, I know projects which when they came, they were so brilliant, so mesmerizing. Founders were just coming out with so great statements. I'm reminded of BitShares in 2014, which was promising 100,000 transactions per second in 2014. You couldn't, there was no Solana, there was no layer 2. NEM was there, Neom was there, Steemit was there. What has happened to all those projects? EOS. EOS, Epic Operating System, was a project which raised $4 billion through an
Nói
ICO.
lại đi, con không nghe rõ.
It was the first project which ensured account
Cái gì
abstraction
vậy?
in 2018. They were, they were great projects. What happened to them?
Tìm ví dụ
See, the
ví dụ
problem
là
here
sẽ có
is
tìm
market narratives are good for a certain period. But market narratives come and go and they just leave. And who survives after market narrative? What is the greatness of Bitcoin?
hả?
The greatness of Bitcoin is that it has transcended every narrative.
Không.
Every narrative. Now, coming back to your question, yes, funding is very important. I don't deny it. But if funding is critical, then always do it with a SAFT agreement. Simple agreement for future tokens. Ask your VC that this is our vision. For us, our token is very sacred and we want to release it first and foremost to the user.
Tùy 20, 25.
So we are ready to sign a SAFT agreement, but we will release our token only after the mainnet launch. This is a principle. If you violate this principle, then you may face the trajectory of what happened with BAT project. I can't tell you the times and the energy of those times when I saw with my eyes BAT got $24 million in 60 seconds. No paperwork. No paperwork. Just money in 60 seconds into your wallet. How beautiful this feeling would have been for a founder.
Yeah.
Today, if you want to sign an agreement with a VC, it will be a horrible experience for most of you. The compliance and legal problems and all those things will be a mess. And here comes a project which gives you tokens and you get money in 60 seconds. And I still feel that those times would come back. But right now, the core is don't release your tokens to investors before the product. If you do it, yes, for short term, you can succeed. No problem with that. If you just look at 100 good projects which were in top 100 in last 6 years, 6 to 8 years, and see their journey till date, you will mark my word, you will realize all those projects which release their tokens only for investors and not for users, most of them have lost the game. Okay?
Thank you. I mean, and also like I kind of want to ask, what is the like minimum line that you say? What would be like the minimum price that you said it is not the chip token? Like you said about you keep saying about the chip price of the token, but what would you say it is cheap and like from where it becomes like not cheap?
See, to answer this question, I have a example from Indian history, ancient Indian history. In ancient Indian history, the same product used to be sold to 4 different people at different price. Same product. So if there is a learned person who was called Brahman, if that person comes to you, offer that person free, that token free. Give that token free of cost to a learned person. But if a businessman comes to you to buy that product, give that product to that person at the highest possible price. If a class 4 blue collar employee comes to you for buying that product, give that product at a 50% discount to that person.
Ổng là sư nên thôi tới bình thường.
Okay.
Nhớ ngày
Now
mai đi
you
mua
will
hoa
say
cho
that
mẹ.
I'm playing politics here. No, I'm not playing politics here. The problem is that there is a user behavior. There is a
Mai nhớ mua quà tặng mẹ nha. Thôi còn gì đâu,
uh,
ok đẹp rồi.
in behavioral economics, there are certain things
Trời
which
ơi,
you
không
don't
bị nhớ cái
realize.
đẹp
When
rồi.
you live in a fiat economy for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, you assume to feel that price is a singular logic. No, price is not a singular logic. For example, let's assume you are building a
Trời ơi.
video game, and there is a community in Vietnam which is of dedicated
Đi
video
con đi ra
gamers.
ngoài mới nhộn thôi, ở nhà thì
And
không
they
cần
come
nhộn.
to you and say, Jungu, we would like to use your project. We would like to build multiplayer games,
Thôi
competitions
trời,
around
nhưng
this.
mà mai
But we don't have
mai
money
nhớ đi
to
mua quà cho
use your
mẹ.
product.
Tóc kệ, không răng hết. Mai đi mua quà cho mẹ nhé.
You might give your product to this community
Mai đi mua quà cho
almost
mẹ.
free or at a very, very heavy discount.
Nói chung lặng rồi.
So what I'm trying to say here is that pricing is a context specific thing. But if you look to appease an investor, okay? If you look to appease an investor, you will look on Bias, my token price is $2. On Kraken, my price is $1.99. And I should basically give the token which is almost close to those prices. No, 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 no.
Bye bye.
There is difference between organic liquidity and journal liquidity. Organic liquidity, which is important for your users, their supply dynamics matters. But journal liquidity is where investors are playing the game, traders are playing the game. The problem with crypto is that traders have hijacked the game. Don't get into that. They will just use a narrative for 3 to 6 months and then get into another narrative. Don't get into that game. If you want to survive for over 10 years, then look to users with multiple pricing model. Singular logic is a behavioral economics habit which has been planted in you without you knowing. Singular price is a useless thing. It depends upon who is using your product. Price should be decided in that manner.
I mean, yeah, it is really like amazing, like you say about like it really kind of like convinced me about like pricing thing. But I mean, what I kind of thought when you talked about the token pricing, I thought like the cheap price is not good because like users circulate too much inside the market. So I mean, what I kind of understood from the lecture was that I thought like you were saying that you have to kind of like price your token. One token has like $1,000 or like something like worth Ethereum, but I guess you weren't really talking about that. It was more talking about you have to kind of value your token, not make it so cheap. Was so? Am I understand correctly now? I guess.
Perfect.
Okay. Yep. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Next question, please.
Okay, I have a question. What do you think about two token design for the game? And what do you think is only one gold token, or do we need like two token?
Can you repeat? I am not able to get you.
Oh, sorry. What do you think about two token design for the game? Because in the game right now we have two models that like the two token, like Axie Affinity and only a one token. What do you think is what is better for the game?
Yeah. See, I have seen the journey of Xe Infinity, and I'm both happy and sad. First, why I'm happy? Uh, I'm happy because it was the first game which almost cracked the puzzle. how to hold on both token economics and gaming interest of the users. In that sense, this was a great cracking. But I'm also sad. And I'm sad because they could not maintain that journey for more than a year or so. Now, it means that somehow they were more or less getting trapped into get rich quick scheme because Axie Infinity prices rose 100x or I think even more than 200x in a very short period. The fact here is that the moment a particular project is going into a price frenzy of 10x, 20x, in 100x in a very short period, then a founder must be very clear that this is not a good story. It can fall anytime. I think every token issuance schedule should fix certain defenses against insane price increases. That is where some defenses have to be there. And for example, uh, let's assume that all the token related free rewards, all the free NFTs, which were supposed to be available to users, were available, but in at least 10 seasons. And token, let's assume Exit plan to give their entire token supply to users. A great choice. But that that reward should have been divided over at least 8, 10 seasons spread over 4, 5 years. So that even if there was a price frenzy around tokens, it should have been a seasonal affair and it should have subsided. And they should have subsequent seasons to play the game again. See, token issuance should be following a natural seasons. For example, in a year, you have 4 seasons broadly. There is autumn, there is rain, there is winter, there is summer. And if there is rains, it means that, oh my goodness, investors are pouring in, users are pouring in. But after rains, there will come also autumn. The point is, what is the strategy which you have built for autumn? Something if I ask you, you may have built tokens for rainy season. But if I ask you what kind of defense you would build for surviving in autumn season, can you answer that question?
I'm not sure, but I think we can do like that you explained that we can split the token for for the season and if for the long term I think we need to do like that because if we inflation the token in 1 year most is the price will fluctuate.
And friends, I can say it with complete confidence. There are very few people like me in this world who would say that design your token economics as nature has designed seasons.
Yep.
But please remember it. Design your token economics as nature has designed seasons.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Next question. Anybody else?
Yeah, it's not really a question. I mean, I kind of like want to ask, like, is it okay if I kind of like contact you later to like share our tokenomics and kind of get a review, like what you think later on?
Sure. I have become a mentor only because that I wanted to interact with you on a personal basis. So if you, I think the admin and the other people can take care of this particular request of yours. I'm open to that. We can have
Okay.
one-to-one discussion around that. No issues.
Yep. Thank you very much. So, I mean, are we supposed to, are we able to get your calendar or through email or how may
Email
you
would
contact you?
email would be better.
Okay. Yep. Thank you very much.
I think Peter Rose has a question.
No, I was just going to say thank you. We would probably try and contact you as well, if that's possible.
Sure. Most
Thank you.
welcome.
I mean, in general, when you finish class, check back your courseware, external courseware where we got the contact of the instructor. All information should be there, email or LinkedIn or Twitter or Telegram in
Yeah,
general.
I will share it. I will share it. Just a minute.
Yeah, my teammate will reach out. I think we already got it and we will put it into the contact list.
Just a minute. I think I
But
forgot.
by the way, I would like to mention a bit about the Axie Infinity. As some of you already know, I'm the quite early investor in Axie, and I know the founder, Mr. Chung, quite well. We friends in high school, and when he actually started the project, I invested small amount of money, but it's turned out to be quite big and successful. So the thing is, like, at the very beginning, the tokenomics was very simple. But as you already know, as it's growing, a lot of people jump in, a lot of users jump in, a lot of big VC investor come in, and they try to influence everything. And at that moment, the founder have no longer power to negotiate. Frankly speaking, they have to work by direction of the investor, and they influence everything. Even the two token strategy is not at the beginning of Axie Infinity. It was later on with SLP and RXS, and it was introduced and moderated by some of the major investors within Axie Infinity. So, which means obviously we know there are some basic rules of tokenomics, as thank you a lot, Sunny, for pointing out. But in the long way, when you got investor in, when you got advisor in, they will implement it in different way. And also, sometimes, frankly speaking, for you, even though you are founder, you are not yet taking control and actually can decide how tokenomics actually look like and how things going on in general. But in general, you should have what we already agree in the term, try to make things sustainable, try to make sure that your user actually benefit from your project, your product, and that is how valuation of your project, of your token, not something that inflated, not something that speculated by market maker, by investor, or by even the founder in general.
True. True.
Is there any further question from your side?
I kind of have a question about Axie Infinity because, like, you know, the how the Axie Infinity work is like if you have an SLP potion, you kind of could mate your Axies and kind of like generate more and more Axie like as Infinity, like, but like, didn't people kind of like realize there is going to be like unlimited Axie and eventually it's going to be like too much Axis out there, which is gonna cause like I don't know, inflation or deflation in the market. I thought like people should be like able to know like even before how the price drop comes, like there are going to be like too many axes than the people who are using it. So I'm kind of like curious about like how did like OGs or like investor in the market thought about it before the price drop.
I will speak my first because I already start the topic before then Sunny feel free to jump in. So basically at the beginning the story around SLP is like it is in-game token. They try to make it separate with the Axie, which is governance token in general, to keep the price of the AX separate with the inflated within in-games because they want to make investor happy. So SLP is for the gamer, yeah, and the XXS for the investor and making separated in general. And they try a lot of way trying to separate two token and trying to make sure that even if SLP is minted infinitely, it will not affect the price of AX in general. But obviously, as we all know that there's no such thing at infinity, right? And they need to keep the price of the SLP, and in order to do so, they sell AX to maintain the price of SLP. So somehow, even though in the tokenomic, it's not quite relevant, but in reality, they do use AX token to maintain the price of SLP, and that's why everything go wrong at the first. Obviously, there's bunch of things regarding tokenomic, bunch of things regarding the hack in general, but at the end of the day, this model at first it seemed to be very stable, but at the end they do not act on it as they say. Obviously, that was first one. The second one, obviously, the amount of money the gamer put in, yeah, the amount of money they use to burning, to fusion, to whatever it is not equal, and is much less than the amount of money they earn by SLP. That's why it get inflated, and that is not make the economic stable. That's why they need to sell AX to maintain the price, and that's create the whole system to collapse. And obviously also mention other thing as well. But feel free to add in more insight if you have one, Sunny.
Okay. Uh, See, I'm going to give you my response in a bit funny way, and it may look a bit of repulsive to you, but please, this is my word of caution. Take three examples: cigarette industry, Web 2 animation industry, and then XE. Let's assume you are Marlboro, you are ITC, you are a big giant, and what is the most important thing you are selling in the market? Addiction. You are selling addiction as a product. Am I right? Though it may be a bad business, unethical business, but you are selling addiction. Am I right?
Yep.
When you are building Fortnite or Sony PlayStation or something like that, you want to keep your users hooked. And but this is an addiction of a very different sort, which gives you kick, which gives you pleasure, which gives you playing with your fellow Mako spirits, all those kinds of things. Okay. So you are selling something where people feel a high. That is your core product. People should feel high. And not only people should feel high, people should continue to feel high over years, over generations. That is your core product. I think Axie Infinity cracked it, but only for a very, very short period. They did not know how to keep selling this addiction over a longer duration. See, one thing which I feel which is a very bad trend is if you go 7 years back, every project had a white paper. Every project. And those white papers were not simple white papers. Those white papers were designed after months and sometimes years of practice. But if I ask you in last 2 years, name any white paper which is considered as a wonderful white paper. The problem here is that the culture of less white paper writing or spending time on white paper is not a good thing for Web3 founders. Why? Because when you look at white paper, there is something very important in the white paper which people don't notice, but good people can, which is forward and backward linkages of your project. How your project transcend from a product into a ecosystem. This is something which is a very, very bad trend. That's why I have a very secret advice to founders. Secret advice. If investors don't like to read the white paper and they don't have the bandwidth to read white paper, because 90% VCs don't read white paper, but it doesn't mean white papers are not important. Always write a white paper for your private use if public is not interested. And that white paper should be a self meditation where you are meditating with the user right there. I took 5 years to write the white paper for my own dating product. Now you may say that why a dating product would need 5 years of a white paper? It doesn't mean that I did not finish my white paper in a shorter period. But I can't tell you how many iterations. I did more than 100 iterations. And all the time, I was calling myself an idiot. That my first version was, oh my goodness, that was so bad. I didn't notice it first. See, friends, I do, I'm acting here as an instructor, as a teacher, but in reality, we all are people with vulnerabilities. And a white paper is the best practice, a meditation to overcome those vulnerabilities. The problem here is look at internal universe of a founder. He or she is going through lots of deaths and reincarnation on a daily basis. And that death and reincarnation is connected with so many forward and backward linkages, product prices, token pricing, sustainability issues, all those things. That journey is the journey which decides your eventual success. Show me any person, any media platform, or any podcast which focuses on internal journeys of founders, not on the external successes of the founders. Success is driven by psychology, and psychology is driven by your belief system. White papers are a sort of meditation into those belief systems, which you struggle on a daily basis. And if Axie Infinity people are sitting here, they will say, oh my goodness, yes, we cracked addiction in first go, but we didn't know how to keep up the game. Ask all those cigarette manufacturers or wine manufacturers or liquor manufacturers. They know the game. They have been able to survive in this game for decades. My question to you is ask, give me one single answer. Apart from Bitcoin, give me an example of a project which knows how to survive 100 years. Apart from Bitcoin, name any project which has cracked this, that they know how to survive for 100 years, which has a token economics, token issue schedule which survives more than a century. Can you name any?
Not for sure, but maybe Ethereum. Because there are too many like Ethereum based projects. I mean, Ethereum based networks and everything.
But
I mean, token itself.
Ethereum made one very fundamental mistake. They started with proof of work, and their shift from proof of work to proof of stake took 8 years, and still they suffer from scalability. And there are right now at least dozen Ethereum challengers. And if you look at Meher Roy and Epicenter Bitcoin people, they have already said that transforming Ethereum into a availability layer and making a monolithic layer dependent on modular layers is a bad choice. If tomorrow Solana, Near Protocol, or Monad, or something which is EVM compatible is able to give scalability and security in a similar manner, people will just shift. I'm not sure of that Ethereum is no, but yes, we can disagree. But the point here is token economics or crypto economics is yet to be taken as seriously as it should be in the world of crypto. And those who take it non seriously, they pay the price. May not be initially, but later on. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, what I was kind of like trying to focus was that Ethereum token price might die out, but because there is too much like network kind of based on Ethereum, I think the
Just a minute. Let me just go to basics. Bitcoin disrupted money as cash. Am I right? Peer-to-peer electronic cash. Am I right?
okay, yeah.
Ethereum disrupted money as capital. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
You could raise an ICO through ERC20 token and all those blah blah blah. Now there are 100 smart contract methods like that with Ethereum.
Yep.
So the moat which Ethereum has built around itself is only community, nothing else, not functionality. If that community decides to move from Ethereum to any other platform, then Ethereum cannot stop them. Okay. The point here is in terms of functionality and remaining loyal to that functionality. Ethereum was relevant for first 4-5 years. Money as capital till ICO wave and all those things. But that was a logic, that was a function where they should have tracked scalability on their own, not by outsourcing that issue to layer 2. So there is a certain compromise. I'm still hopeful that Ethereum would survive, no doubt about that. But I have a serious hunch that there would emerge a player like Solana, Near Protocol, or something else which may outrun Ethereum. Ethereum may not remain the number 2. It may remain the number 10, but it may not remain the number 2. So I have only this disagreement with you.
Okay, I got it. I mean, yeah, I kind of like agree at the community part because, I mean, most of Web3 project is really community based. Like if the community decide to move out, it's just like everything is gone. But the reason why I thought Ethereum might last longer is because the community side is too huge. But yeah, I mean, at the first time when Solana came out, many people thought that it's going to like replace Ethereum.
Okay. I have a counter question there. Just a minute. Let's assume you build a product on Solana or on Near Protocol which gets to 100 million users.
Mm-hmm.
May God bless you with that future. If you happen to build a product on Solana or on Near Protocol which reaches 100 million users, then who would win in the end, Solana or Ethereum?
Definitely Solana, and I'm already on Solana, so.
Yeah. The issue here is that right now, B2C applications, we are yet to have those crypto dApps, which are in 100 million user base kind of a thing. So right now, adoption is going to come from consumer, and consumer is more interested in scalability, throughput, latency, all those issues. If we happen to build such a consumer application which gets to 100 million users, so whichever chain enables that, that will outthrone or dethrone Ethereum. Just assume if it happens on Polygon or Arbitrum, don't you think Baby would outreach the mother?
Probably, yeah, if there is actual service that coming out of it. But yeah, I mean, there is long way to go for the 100 million users, I guess.
No, 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 no. See, account abstraction problem is solved.
Mhm.
Scalability on layer 2 is solved. Okay. So if I ask you what is the probability of a Web 2.5 project reaching 100 million users in next 3 to 5 years, it should be very high. It should be very high.
It should be, it should be what? Manhattan?
Very high.
Yeah, it should be very, yeah, I mean,
So if
yeah,
it happens, then the chain which is underlying that project would become the eventual winner. So my understanding here is, my fundamental belief right now is that whatever smart contract platform you have, whether you are Ethereum, Solana, Near, or Polygon, your focus should be to enable founders to build next 100 million dApps. 100 million user dApps. That is the right now the most important elephant in the room. We don't know from where those 100 million users will come. And that's why we are all sitting here. Because ultimately, getting 100 million users is one thing, and keeping those 100 million users is another thing. So we have to plan for both.
yep, agreed. Yeah, thank you very much.
So, friends, should we call it a day?
Yeah.
It was nice interaction.
Yeah. Thank you a lot, Sunny, for helping us for today. I would like to spend the last few minutes to say about something. Um, Hòa ơi, cho anh slide được không? Okay, so I would like to mention about our next class. Our next class will happen on Wednesday, and the topic would be. Let me check again. Sorry, whom should again? Sorry, my bad. A second. Okay, so our next class would be about the. Oh, okay, not um. So it's on Wednesday. It's about a GameFi topic, and which would be taught by Denzel. Denzel was has a GameFi at ILF Foundation. IF is a new L2. They also currently opening the grant for the GameFi SocialFi project. So I suggest you guys should be there in person to talk to him, and also be, let's say, active to introduce about your side and also about your project in general. That would be the first one. Second one, as you might know, like last week we was a bit of gap week. We thought that we can have one class with Irina from Mitis, but she's too busy. Previous week we focused a lot on our event in Good Morning Vietnam in general, and also our first part of demo day, where Maxine from Elaria, Jungkook from Glen Studio, and Pavan from Octan got chance to pitch their product in front of like 50 attendants. They are like 11 or 12 VC, 2 or 3 foundation, and the rest are switch provider or the angel investor. Um, we will send you the live pitch recording from Glen Studio from Elaria Octan soon by the link. So feel free to watch it and check it from your friend. So we recommend you guys to book a meeting with advisor again, So sorry for last week. I was so busy with events, so I'm skip a lot of meeting for last week. But I will come back this week to take time to spend with you in general. And last but not least, there are two activities we plan to be on. We plan to be in ETC in Brussels around July 8 to 11 or 12, I'm not remember correctly. If any one of you be there, feel free to catch me up. If we, I mean, if we can plan to do some meetup or some activity, feel free to ping me. That'll be first one. Second one, we plan to do the second part demo day around September, either in Solana Breakpoint or Token 2049. Still planning on it. Another thing is on DevCon on December. We got offer from Matis and Polygon to support them with Hacker House. So I will ping the Voxel and also ping the another two project from Thailand. Maybe we can support the Metis or support the Polygon together, so that we can also engage with ecosystem and also introduce you guys to the project. So that would be a quick remind from my side. In short, collaboratively focus on this week, book more meeting with advisor, and we will send you the live pitch from Glenn, Araya, and Octan soon. Is there any question regarding the incubation program so far, or feedback in general? Okay, cool. By the way, we got a feedback that we should update the learning material before the class, not after the class. We take that in granted. We will try to do it as soon as possible, but as you may know, we need to align content with the instructor, and normally the content always come in the last minute. But we take that in consideration, and we'll try to update it as soon as possible. Yeah. Chungu, you want to say anything?
No, that's okay. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Thank you a lot. Thank you a lot for particular also thanks our instructor Sunny for the great story introduction about yours and also about the philosophy. For Sunny contact regarding email or social profile, we will update into our external courseware. You will got everything you needed to contact him in general. Thank you, guy. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thanks, Sunny.
Keep building. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.